talk about innovation. Innovation is not about just an idea, but an idea that actually makes money. In these notebooks, I have plenty of inventions that I've developed over the years. There are things in here like flying cars and ways to make sailboats break the world speed record in sailing. But in order to innovate, you have to take one idea out of the notebook and focus on just that one idea. In order to focus on the one idea, you have to take the rest of the inventions and throw them in the trash. Because it takes a serious focus for a company to take a brand new idea all the way through to production. In the past, I've developed a number of things from, as he said, being a speed demon. And being a speed demon, I developed a super turbo to help fulfill my passion. But it's already been 9 years in the making, and we're still not a year and a half away from getting to low volume production. So the singular focus that you have to have in a business is mainly because of the need to keep everybody on track over that 9 years to be able to bring that technology to market. When I was a kid, my dad loaned me $25 to buy my first car. It took me about an hour after bringing that car home. It was a piece of junk, not like the one in the picture. It took me about an hour to rebuild the carburetor and get that car running. So I decided that I would tear the car apart and turn it into a dune buggy. What else is a 12-year-old kid supposed to do with a running car? And about a week and a half later, my dad came home from work one day, and the car was completely covered in mud. The fenders were off, and the doors were cut in half so that you could jump in Dukes of Hazzard style. And my dad reminded me that he loaned me the $25 and that I had to repay the $25. So rather than rebuild the car, which was probably impossible at that point, I took it the rest of the way apart and sold it for parts. Made $125, handed my dad his $25 back, and took the other $100 and went downtown. I bought a $50 car, fixed it up and sold it for $900, and I did that 29 more times before I graduated high school. The lesson I learned was that whenever I had more than one car at the same time, it always seemed to take twice as long to get the cars done, fixed up so that I could resell them. So I learned there was a problem when you had a lack of focus. But when I was 17, I walked into the kitchen behind my mother, and my mother said, I was on the phone, so she wasn't even facing me. She didn't know I had showed up in the kitchen. So I walked in behind her, and she was talking on the phone with my aunt. And she said, Ed, he's not going to college. He's making more money in the driveway than I make as a teacher. Of course, she knew that because my dad was my banker. So I proceeded to realize at that very moment that I needed to go to college in order to develop the future of automobiles. So I went to college, and 10 years later, when I was at MIT, I invented another automotive technology. So another piece of paper. But I had the help of MIT's Technology Licensing Office, and they helped me patent that technology. And I went back to school, back to work, back to running the MIT racing team. And about 3 months later, they called me up and said, we have venture capital here in our office, and they want to invest in your company. I said, I don't have a company. I haven't even graduated yet. They said, do you want the money or not? I said, I'll be right over. And that's how I financed my second company. Running that company for 14 years, I realized, after sharing some of the ideas from the notebook that didn't have to do with the primary idea of the company at that time, that whenever I did that, and I would go away on a business trip, I'd come back a week later, and my engineers had accomplished something on the idea in the notebook, not what the company was about. And so I realized I had to keep everyone focused because it takes a long time to take a brand new idea all the way through the process that it takes to get to production and commercialization, and therefore become an innovation. My next company is a high-tech company that we already announced, the one I'm running now, but it's very clear running this company that to get a 200,000 RPM device working reliably takes a lot of focus. I now have 15 engineers working on the job of getting this technology to market. And I decided a long time ago that to be an innovator, not just an inventor. And so, getting a technology that sits on an engine, runs as fast as it does, in the shape and vibration and the heat of the engine, is a very significant task and takes a lot of engineering effort. As I said, to get it to market, after 9 years, it's still a year and a half away. So, getting technology to production is a very big effort. I'm willing to bet half of you wanted to come up here and empty this trash can for me. Well, fortunately, because of the success of the Super Turbo and the success we're having in northern Colorado innovating technology in this area, the Smithsonian Institute has asked for the Super Turbo and these notebooks to be put on display in the Smithsonian Museum in 2015. So for you, if you're ready to innovate, pick your one idea and go for it.